Welcome to the wild world of Shagdog and Jammer, the unchallenged champions of craft beer critique. This is the Spit or Swallow Beer Review, where the suds are plentiful and the opinions are frothy. Get ready for a whirlwind tour of hops and barley, where every brew has a story and every sip can be a surprise. From the darkest stout to the palest ale, we're here to navigate the sea of beers with you, one bottle, can, or keg at a time. Here, we don't just taste beer, we experience it. We dive in head first, exploring the depths of flavor, the highs and lows of carbonation, and the subtle notes that make each brew unique. And remember, in the world of Shagdog and Jammer, we believe that all beers are good, just some vary in goodness. So pull up a stool, crack open a cold one, and let the adventure begin. Welcome to the Spit or Swallow Beer Review. Here, we're always on the hunt for our next favorite brew, so stay thirsty, my friends.
Yes, stay thirsty, my friends. I'm Jammer.
And I am Shagdog. Welcome to Spit or Swallow Beer Review.
Rented lips, huh?
Yes, drinking and thinking, trending topics, yes, whatever we could come up with.
Yeah. The cap that I have, you can't really see. It says land shark, you know. It doesn't matter.
I got a Yingling myself, Jammer. Yingling traditional.
Yeah. Recent deaths, Richard Chamberlain. And besides my aunt passing away.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah. You had Gene Hackman. And there's one other person I think there's pretty famous that died. I can't remember.
Recent deaths. Somebody this week died besides Richard Chamberlain. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, Richard Chamberlain he was famous for Alan Quartermain movies and the Thornbirds.
I didn't know he was gay. Did you?
I never really realized he was gay, but I had a feeling he was. You know.
Yeah, he played the Thornbirds. Yeah. Val Kilmer was the other one.
Val Kilmer, yes.
Yeah.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yeah, I'll be your Huckleberry. Some great movies by him. I mean, I think he should have had a lot. For as good as an actor he was, he should have had a lot more great movies than what he had, actually. But
well, he said himself that he wasn't into the Hollywood, playing the game, kind of thing.
Right. But he was a great actor, I think.
He, what really sealed it for me, for Kurt Russell and him, was Tombstone.
Yeah, that was a good one. He did good in it.
That movie right there sealed it for me to say, yes, he is a great actor.
Yeah. The Doors movie, he did pretty good as Jim Morrison.
Oh, yeah, The Doors. Yeah. He was good in The Doors.
I thought he was good in the Island of Dr. Moreau. Some other movies.
Yeah, but the
too,
movie itself wasn't that great,
Yeah, that's true. It was based on a book.
For him to be,
movie.
in my opinion, for an actor to be great, it also, you might do good in a crappy movie, but I think it's better if you're doing great or good in a good movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. It might not be, like an average movie, but you stand out above. Even though you're a supporting actor, you stand out pretty much. Yeah.
And the crazy thing about Tombstone is Kurt Russell in the beginning had that, kind of country accent going on and all that kind of crap, and I really didn't care for it. I'm like, oh, God, I can't believe this shit. I'm watching this movie, da-da-da-da. But whenever he was on the train platform and he says, tell him I'm coming and hell's coming with me, I realized I had forgotten about the fucking accent up to that point.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, holy shit, he's good. Yeah.
Great cast in that whole movie, really. All the different characters.
Val Kilmer looking like deaf, walking.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Doc Holliday looking like deaf, walking and everything like that. And then I'll be a Huckleberry. Yeah. All that stuff. I mean, my God, he was really good in that. I mean, he was really good even in Batman, but his Batman movie wasn't that great.
Right.
He
did two Batman movies, right? I think.
I'm not sure. But I will say this much. Even the movies he wasn't all that great in, he was good, I mean, the movies weren't all that great.
I mean, Iceman character in Top Gun was classic. That's another classic supporting character right there. Between that and your Huckleberry character, yeah.
And the funny thing is, his autobiography that he wrote was I'm your Huckleberry or whatever like that. Yeah.
Right.
So obviously he thought Tombstone was his calling card, his epitome as an actor.
Which is, and he did the Mark Twain thing before he started getting throat cancer. He was doing the Mark Twain tour, dressed up like Mark Twain, act like Mark Twain on stage, which is pretty cool. Because especially where I lived, that's where Mark Twain, lived as a summer home, my town in New York. So it was like Mark Twain country, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
But it's interesting. Yeah, I'm drinking a Yingling while we're thinking.
Yeah, and I'm thinking why we're drinking the Land Shark.
Ooh.
The typical topics right now, right? Freaky Freaks brought it up. The tariffs and all that stuff. The recent deaths we already discussed mostly and everything. Out of those three, Gene Hackman, surprisingly, he died several days after his wife died, and probably because he had dementia or Alzheimer's and everything.
Wasn't able to take care of himself, yeah.
And then the family, it just boggles my mind. They say that they kind of closed themselves off to the family. And I don't care what you say or anybody says. If you're the son or daughter and your father or mother has removed themselves and everything, you still would call. You still would try to find out something.
If you're close by, stop by.
Yeah, stop by. If you know somebody that's close by, you would stop by
Especially
and say, hey, how are they
90s.
doing? Yeah.
90s. Even though the wife was in her 60s.
Yeah.
You figure stop by, check on your dad. That's in his 90s.
And if you couldn't do it and you knew somebody was close by, you would say, hey, while you're over that way, can you stop by my dad's house and just say hey and see how he's doing? Or see how my mom's doing or that kind of thing, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
The only thing I can think of, maybe that lady, the wife, 60-some years old, the last time they talked to her, she was very coherent and whatever herself. Unbeknownst to them, she was getting some disease from rats in the house or whatever hell she had.
That's the craziest part. She has freaking gotten, you know how filthy that house had to be?
Yeah, for having a respiratory disease from rat shit or whatever.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
And you think he had like $80 million, and he died from a freaking rat respiratory disease, well, he didn't directly die from that, but she did.
Yeah. I'm sure it was affecting him too, though.
Yeah, might have increased the dementia, Just boggles my mind. I mean, the Val Kilmer thing was something that was coming along, and you knew it was going to happen, and he knew it. Yeah. And so when he did his will, he curated a lot of videos and pictures and wrote special notes and everything to each and every family member and friend or whatever that he had come to the reading. Awesome. They got a personal letter, and they got personal photos and videos and stuff like that. Yeah. He spent his last time on Earth putting stuff together to say his final goodbyes.
That's pretty good. He had probably enough time too. He wasn't working at Walmart or anything, right?
No, he was.
He had a lot of free time, I think.
He was going through all his photos, all his albums and stuff, and he wrote personalized notes and letters to each individual. And when you think about it, as a kid, getting a note from your father,
or somebody that you love,
or even if you could have a conversation with him,
a grandfather, whatever.
Yeah, but especially a note or something like that, being that you couldn't have the conversation.
But most people are even though they're dying and they know they're dying, they're still too busy trying to work, trying to pay bills, all that. So it's nice to be a celebrity and maybe have enough money to say, here I'm home all the time now. I'm taking time to write notes. That'd be great.
And for them to do that, for him to be able to do that, but for the family members to be able to get something from him like that and be able to look at it and say, this is really nice. My dad wrote this personalized letter to me, and.
Yeah.
saying certain things to me and da 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 da. I mean, that has to mean something even more than a conversation that you had.
Right. I wish I could have had a better conversation with my brother before he died, because I got the news.
Yeah.
He had 2 to 4 weeks to live, and he died. He lived about 3.5 weeks, and during that time, we never really had a good conversation.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, your mic just went way
Hello? Hello? You're on mute.
I'm not on mute.
You're muted.
Nope.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're really
Hello?
good now. Yeah, you did something.
Son of a bitch. What the hell happened?
Let's check here.
Oh, crap. What the hell just happened here?
Yeah, you went from stereo to mono.
What the hell? I lost you, man. Hold on. Ah, fuck.
Check it. Let me.
Oh, wait a minute. I got you there for a second.
You
there?
Now? Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Dang.
Yeah, well, I was saying about my brother, he got the notice 3 to 4 weeks to live, so, and he gave us the big news the day they had a friggin' benefit ride for him or whatever, so, but he knew he was going to die at that point, So that was a rough day to give that news, and I got really drunk, which was probably the wrong thing to do. Start drinking. Instead of trying to comfort my brother or even talk to him, I just fucking kept drinking.
Here's the thing about that, Shagdog. You say that, but also, you know what he was probably thinking to himself is that
he wanted to drink too.
Well, in general, even if you would have tried to comfort him, he would have looked at you like you were an asshole.
Right.
Because that's not what you want when you're dying. It's somebody comforting you.
Yeah, not really comfort, but just to talk, be open about stuff.
Maybe talk and be open about stuff, and maybe be a little more personal, maybe. But I don't know. I don't think I would take it as. Yeah. I would take it. All right, so if you say I was dying and you started drinking everything, I would say, well, damn it, the hell, give me a beer too.
Yeah. What I'm really sad about is because when he was dying too, his friend came over to the house one night during those 3 to 4 weeks. And he's like, "I'd really go for a cigarette and a shot of Jameson." They're like, "No, you can't drink," because you're thinking for his health, because you have that false hope, 3 to 4 weeks. But you probably should give him a shot.
Should have just said, "Fuck it, and let me have the shot."
Yeah.
Because you know what, even if you're thinking about the health.
Yeah.
What difference would it make?
I know, but I think as a human, you hear a family or a loved one only has 2 to 4 weeks. You naturally think, okay, we got to do everything we possibly can to make sure that you're safe and that you but part
get
of you
better.
don't believe it too.
Yeah.
Part of you don't believe it. You're like,
But in another way, you should be also thinking, okay, this is going to happen. Well, you know what? Even if it doesn't happen, even if it does, it doesn't matter. He needs to be able to live his life and enjoy it.
Give me that hooker.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me that cocaine, those hookers, and
not a skanky 301 hooker. At least a $600 hooker.
Yeah, at least a $600 or $700 hooker. One that's going to stay for an hour or two.
Yeah. And I have her boyfriend out in the parking lot.
And when she gets up to get ready to leave after 5 minutes, oh, fuck no, I paid for a whole hour.
Right. And not having her pimp out in the parking lot calling every 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Who wants a pimp hanging out in the parking lot while she rubs your dick with a bunch of, suntan lotion?
Suntan lotion.
Exactly.
But, I mean, if I would have done things different, I would have asked him things, just, hey, what do you need? Is there anything you want me to do?
Let me tell you what's terrible about the whole situation with someone that that was one person that was there when you were born.
Yeah.
That died. That knew you all your life.
Right.
All your life, Shagdog. From the time you were born, he knew you.
Yeah, that's true.
Even before you were born, he knew you because
only-
you were
Only
in
people
your
that do
mother's
that are
womb.
parents and siblings, younger siblings, or older siblings, yeah.
And
So
then
your sister knows you since you were born. I mean, even though she might not remember maybe some parts of that, but
I've
was
known my
there.
sister all my life, but I didn't know her 4 years before.
4 years. Oh, for her first 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's known me all my life.
Right. And she might not remember when you were a baby, for instance, maybe bits and glimpses or whatever, but she was there
Yeah.
definitely all the time.
And
Your
that's
sister
the
might
kind
have
of
held you a few times and you don't remember it and she don't remember it.
yeah. And the thing about it is that it's very traumatizing when you have somebody that's known you all your life
Yeah.
to pass away.
Right.
All the unanswered questions, all the feelings and the things, the memories you shared.
Yeah.
And
Maybe you're not the best of friends, but you've always been friends.
And the crazy thing is they remember things that you don't remember.
Right.
They knew, like, oh, remember that time when you were a kid and you did this? And you're like, no, I don't. But they do.
Right. That's true. Or even people. Oh, I had this girl wrote me one time before Sean died. And, I was like, some girl added me from New York. I don't know. Oh, yeah, she used to live down the street from us, 2 blocks from us. I was like, I don't fucking remember her. But she remembered him, remembered me. And I'm like, I was 14, 15 at the time. I'm like, I don't remember her. But crazy shit like that, Your audio went out again, Jammer.
That's like losing a part of you,
Yeah.
losing that piece of you. And
Someone to
it's a
help you in your memory.
Yeah. So not only do you lose DNA-wise a
And
part of you.
And I'm thinking with your parents too, because I know you lost a parent, so same thing.
Yeah.
There's probably some things that you might not remember that your father does, and now you can't hear it now.
And I've had a lot of memories come back to me and times that I've had with him and with family in general. Memories come around and just pop up out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. And and I think to myself, that's I wonder what he thought, or wonder what he, and you never will know, because guess what, he's not here.
Tell us.
Yeah. And I imagine you have the same thing to a degree, when you're thinking, okay, I wonder what he really thought about this back in the day when we did this, or I don't quite remember this. I wonder how he remembers it.
Strange thing with my brothers, he always said he's going to die young. I don't know if it was because our grandfather died when he was 42, and everybody told him he looked like our grandfather or whatever. That's the reason why he was like that. But it's almost like he willed it,
Yeah, that's a sad thing, because, is it him willing it or was he destined? That's the thing. Right. You don't quite know, because, if you might have that feeling, but that doesn't mean you're going to,
Right.
And you might think that because of...
Your mic went out again.
You might...
There you go. Oh, it went out again.
You might think that way because previous people in your family passed away.
You got a loose
but that doesn't mean you're going to pass away. And you might think that you would, but that doesn't mean you will. So,
it went out again.
Son of a biscuit eater.
Well, you got a loose cord or what? It went out again. There it is.
I don't know. It's really odd.
Gotta get some duct tape.
I just think in general that it's very difficult. You may or may not think you will, and if you do, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of ways the mind is very powerful. Yeah. So if you think you're going to die young,
you're going to die young.
It might force that to happen.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people going around saying they're disabled, and they weren't disabled But
become
guess
disabled.
what? After so many years of them saying they're disabled, they become disabled.
Yeah, I think positive thinking is the way to go. Even if you are disabled, think positive, and it'll probably come out better.
Be grateful and thankful, and think positive.
I try. I'm a little negative myself, but sometimes I try to be positive.
Oh, I think everybody gets to a degree to think negative and everything. But you know what? You got to believe it to receive it. You got to go through it to get to it. So guess what? It's better to just go ahead and stay positive and work your way towards
freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with my brother too, because when we took him to Mayo Clinic up in Jacksonville, me, my mother, and his wife went with him. And we went up there, and they said they could do a hepatic artery with chemo going straight to the liver. But they said that might only prolong him a couple of months, maybe, if he's lucky. So he didn't want to do it, I guess. He's like, fuck it, it's too late for him. So, but we went back to the hotel, and my mother and his sister-in-law, we were going to get some food. I was like, I'll stay with Sean. He's like, why? What are you going to do if I die? I was like, I don't even know where the hell it's coming from. I just want to spend time with him. I'll stay with you. I was like, well, I fucking guess I'll do CPR or something. Why? What's the sense? He's like, all that. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, that's because he was dealing with it himself.
Yeah, but I should have just said fuck you and spend time with him. And I said, okay, fine, I'll go with them. But
that's
he probably wants some alone time. Maybe he wanted to cry. Who knows?
Yeah. I would just say if he had said that to me, I think. Well, I say that now, knowing what happened and everything. But if he had said that to me and he was my brother, I'd probably just say, I just want to spend time with you. Boom.
Well, I should have.
Yeah.
But and then what's really
you're not
funny,
thinking. You're not thinking because you're in shock too.
Right. The day he was dying, I'm sitting there and me and Pat are next to him in that bed in that damn hospice, and I held his arm, and that was so him. I was like, you motherfucker. Don't want me touching you, huh? But yeah, I felt bad that day because I walked out of the room so many times,
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with it. Kept walking out of the room. Ended up coming back. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Let's be honest. He knew you. He knew what you were capable of. He knew what you thought. I mean, he known you all your life, so he had to have some feeling of that. So in that regards, he knew when you left and all that stuff and came back and all that stuff. That was just Shagdog. That's he's dealing with it. He's dealing with it the best he can. And here's the thing. As worried as he was probably for his family and everybody, you guys and everybody, he probably was so upset, besides himself, thinking about his own mortality. He's worried about you guys and what you're doing and what you're thinking and, why.
Oh, your mic went out.
Why you hang?
Went out again.
Why are you hanging around? Why don't you just go? Right? Now you're out.
Yeah, but now you're loud.
I don't hear you now.
You better get a new microphone, Jammer.
Oh my God! What the hell happened? What's going on here?
You gotta get a new mic.
What's going on?
You're back to normal now, right?
All right. Are you there?
Yeah, I think you need a new mic. What'd you do to that thing? Beat it?
The cord is probably what's fucked up.
Yeah, you've been tugging on that cord, huh?
So, I think that he in general knew exactly what was going on and everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, that they say that ammonia get in your liver and your brain and all that, get a little out of it or whatever. Because he was out of it the night before when Kathy called and said he stopped breathing and all that shit. And I got there and he was still breathing, but he was like out of it when I saw him when they were carrying him out to the ambulance and shit. It was like, but anyhow, yeah, it was a rough day, rough week, rough couple of weeks. Anyhow, But anyhow, when you get some news like that with a family member, you don't believe it. You still have hope. You know, it's like, you get the chemo news and now this news. Okay, well, this isn't going good, but they're going to do this and all that kind of shit. And you're like,
well, when you talked about how they were pushing you off to do anything, it made me think, well, if you're that far gone and they're not rushing it, it just doesn't make any sense why they're not rushing it. So they must realize that it's no point.
I don't know what they gave, what kind of chemo, because he was good when he first got diagnosed with it, like 4 months before. And when they did the chemo, he just went downhill after that chemo and radiation.
Well, let me tell you just one thing. Chemo in itself, it destroys everything, the good with the bad. So they're hoping to destroy all the bad before the good before the good's all gone too. You know what I mean? And so it's almost pointless to do chemo. I'm not going to say it's completely pointless because it's not, but
because it does help some people. But yeah, it's like poison. Putting poison in your body
poison.
Kills something.
It is poison. It's like you're taking poison to kill everything
right.
and you're hoping that the good won't be completely destroyed.
Right. You look at Stacy with the type of cancer she had, the chemo and everything helped dramatically. Like within a month or two, her mass shrunk almost half in size or whatever, and all that shit. So everything worked good for her, but it's different. I guess it depends on your body and your type of cancer and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Hey.
What a way to bring it down, man.
Hey, you know what? Beer does that sometimes. Thanks to our 2 viewers, though.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the recent death. Hey.
Why do you guys keep starting and ending live streams? Oh. So we have multiple videos of beer reviews on YouTube. Multiple.
Well, yeah, the different beers that we were doing was different different videos, basically.
Different live streams,
yeah.
If you want us to do one whole live stream, we could do that, but that'd be one boring 4-hour video.
I don't know. We're pretty funny.
Shit, sometimes. Most of our live videos, most people don't watch more than 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's
when
true.
They rewatch it. Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Hey, we saw these guys live, Jammer.
Scorpions?
I think we were pretty drunk by the time we came on stage, though.
Yeah. That was my time now I didn't have to drive.
For the Rat, my favorite band, Rat, and it's opened up for Scorpions. I don't remember that video, our concert. Of all the concerts we went to together, a couple of them, and that's the one I don't remember that much. Besides carrying you downstairs or carrying you upstairs, or whatever it was.
Propping me up against the urinal.
Wheelchair, handicap chair fight almost, and stuff like that.
What's funny about that is that that I didn't have to drive.
Right.
So we had the little mini kegs.
We had a mini keg and a 6-pack.
Thinking that if we drink that, we won't have to drink inside.
But we did.
But when we got inside, we ordered more beer and kept on drinking. Yeah.
And the mini keg, my brother didn't drink too much of that, so I think we figured out like 14 beers in a mini keg, and I think you drank about 7, I drank about 5, and my brother drank about 2, and then we had a 6-pack of the same beer. I think we both split that, and my brother maybe had 1 Corona from someone else.
Yeah, and then we started drinking when we got inside.
Yeah, as soon as we saw the first beer vendor, hey, let's get a beer.
Good plans gone bad, right?
And in review, next time we go to a concert, if we ever do, don't bring beer. Just buy the beer at the damn place. Even though we think we're going to save money by bringing beer, we're going to still buy the beer. So
we did save money because we didn't buy as many beers.
But if we would have went there and got in there at the same time, we would have not bought those pre-beers. So we would have at least saved the pre-beers.
Yeah, but we would have bought more beers while we were there.
I don't know, because I think we drank. Well, we didn't drink all night in there, but because I think we were pretty hammered at a certain point when we stopped drinking.
I think we drank 2 or 3 beers when we were there.
And then we went out to a bar afterwards too, which was great.
Yeah. That's when you pulled out your belt and started spanking some chick.
No, that was years later. That was way before.
Sorry.
That was years before that. Yeah.
I'm mixing things, huh?
That was because the concert there was 2010,
No.
and I started spanking people back in 2001. 9 years difference.
You started spanking people later?
No, I didn't spank anybody later. It was 2001. That's when I started spanking people on the dance floor and met my girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Rat Scorpions concert was 2010. Yeah, so that was 9 years difference.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny though. We got back to my brother's house because I paid for his ticket. I said, "Hey, you be a designated driver. Got your ticket." Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we got back to his house, dropped us off. Your car was waiting there. Hey, we're going to the bar.
Cheers.
Yeah. You want to go? I was like, hell no. I'm never going to a concert with you guys ever again.
Yeah, because the whole thing with the handicapped seat, right?
That was the biggest part of it. Yeah, for him. Yeah. I mean, the biggest part of me is getting you down to the restroom, carrying you back up, and you're a pretty heavy guy, you know, leaning on me and shit. I was like,
Well, there's only been a few times you had to rely upon me to be the designated soberer person.
only a couple times, yeah. But at least I'm lighter than you.
I mean, in New Orleans, you had to be the more sober person, in the sense, the responsible one.
Walmart.
Yeah, I don't really know, man.
As long as you're capable of working, you can work anywhere in the States. As long as you, I mean, if you have a degree or technical skill, you can work anywhere, really.
I know West Pharmaceutical, they have a lot of people who have come from other countries over the years and everything. I know a lot of pharmaceutical companies have. And you don't have to have any specialized degree or anything for that.
Apparently, you can speak English.
Yeah, if you can speak English and everything else, you could do any of the jobs there.
Yeah.
And
apply
as far
for a green
as
card.
the other companies that I worked for, which was beverage companies, all of them are in every country anyway. And that's Pepsi and Coke and.
Yeah, if you got some skill in college, you could get a job anywhere in the U.S. and make good money, or halfway decent money. You know?
But yeah, the only thing I will say is that a lot of people I know that have come to America have turned around and said, "You know what? I should have just stayed home because all this stuff that I'm having to pay for, I didn't have to pay for when I was at home."
Yeah, I met a Cuban girl one time. She's like, well, she likes the choices here. She likes different restaurants and this and that, but she missed the freedom of free education, and she's from Cuba. Free education and what the hell is it? Free health.
Yeah.
But I was like,
well,
okay,
you know,
she said I was poor and happy. Here I'm poor and not happy.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. My old boss that used to be, my old boss that was she's Jamaican, and she was a quality supervisor over in Jamaica. She was getting her house paid, her car paid, her daycare paid, her housing paid. Everything was being paid for, and she was getting $10,000 to $15,000 or Jamaican dollars every month. On top of all that, she was in a gated community and everything. When she came to America, she had to pay for all those things, and she had less money at the end of the day, when it was all said and over.
But
Done.
my Jamaican girl didn't tell me about any of that. But probably true.
Huh?
Or the one Jamaican lady I went out on a couple of dates with. Yeah. A couple of house dates.
But yeah, my old boss Charmaine, she said the only reason she stayed in America was for the fact that it was safer than Jamaica for her kids. Otherwise, she would go back.
Yeah, America, I mean, when you look at somebody like me, no college education, I'm never going to reach a certain level. Matter of fact, I'm not even back to the level. The job I used to work is up to a certain amount per hour now, but I'm never going to even get back up to that with what I'm working now. And I don't want to do that type of working again. So, but that's okay with me. As long as I can live frugally and save, I'm okay. Maybe I get a sugar mama eventually.
Well, that's what I say.
But time's ticking by, man. I don't have that much time for a sugar mama. Most of the sugar mamas who get and chat with me now are not my cup of tea. They're like in this.
Well, you just got to suck it up and take a hit for the team, man.
Man, I don't know, because I gotta have
Team
some
Shagdog,
I don't care if a woman's older, but I gotta have some attraction to her. I can't have a little piglet.
It's the money.
I gotta wrap my mind around all that.
Yeah, it's the will being included in the will.
There's this one lady. I mean, she's got a master's degree in chat with
Look
me
at
and
that.
stuff. But,
Freaky Freak's got a bachelor degree in economics. If you got a bachelor degree in
there you
economics,
go.
yeah, you should be able to get a
What
good
I don't
job.
understand here in America though is they don't accept foreign degrees or some shit. From what I heard, I don't know if that's true or not. Like the girl from Cuba had a what do you call it, physical therapist degree or whatever.
Well,
but
for anything that considered medical, they're not going to, they want you to go through the process of getting trained for some of the medical stuff. It might not be as long as a process as starting from scratch, but you
want
still
you
have
to do
to
it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be some worldwide medical stuff, though. I mean, if you're trained to be a doctor in America, or under RN, say, a nurse, you should be able to go somewhere else and maybe do some course, but I don't know.
I mean, the only thing, the same thing with other countries coming here. Other people from other countries coming here. The same thing. If you're a nurse or a doctor or whatever, a lawyer or whatever it is that you're doing, you would think you'd be able to, just do a few courses and that's it. Yeah, see, that's the perfect example. They're known to be the hardest, and everything, and yet America won't accept it. It's like, okay,
crazy.
whatever. America's about money.
Imagine being like a nuclear scientist or whatever, and then I'm going to move to China. Of course, China might accept you as a nuclear scientist, but just say you're expert garbage man. What do I call it? What's the garbage?
Well, my whole thing is that the faculties may be harder in Europe and everything, and you turn around and come here. Here it's the money. They're more concerned about you make it. Oh well, you know what? You can do that. You can transfer over here, and you can go to school here and all that stuff. But you know what? You have these few courses that you have to take to make up for the fact that you didn't have those in your European studies. We got to have you take a few courses here in order to get the degree, because guess what? We want the money more so than anything.
I'm a true believer.
Yeah, see, right there you go. Look at it. Engineers are being paid like factory workers. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like here I am, where I work. I know it doesn't take a college education to do what I do at work, but compared to me, to somebody that's like 22 years old or 20 years old, straight out of high school, never went to college, and all my life experiences, different jobs I've had, you think I should be paid at least $1 more or something than a 22-year-old, right?
Well, you could go online to the University of with the University of I forget what it's called. It's a free university, and they accept life experience as well.
Okay.
And they are recognized by other colleges and companies and stuff like that. And you could get a degree
Oh, yeah. And what?
from your own work experience
Experiences.
and
Oh, okay.
personal experience. Yeah, exactly. It should give you at least that much.
I know, because compared, I mean, I'm not saying I'm better than an 18-year-old or 20-year-old, but I have a
But
little
you're
bit
smarter.
Of little bit of life experience, the little things. I call them the little things that kill. You know, the little things of different work things. You know, it's like just the little things. You can teach somebody the little things that kill. I call them the little things that kill. Anyhow, little bastards.
Exactly.
You know the thing.
You got the looks to kill. She's got the looks to kill.
I talked to some of these young guys I work with. And I'm like, holy shit, these guys don't know shit. And I'm getting paid the same amount. Oh, what's that thing? That's just common sense. Yeah, common sense, and some common sense comes with experience and age.
Yeah. And the thing about it is also you're more dependable in regards to them, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, of course.
As much as you like to call in, I'm still
Yeah,
think
but
that
I
you're
call
probably
in-
more.
I call in my limit. I know my limit. You know,
Yeah.
they give you so many hours to call in. That's what I use. You know, I don't go overboard.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And yeah, where I work, they give a raise for years. You know, there's people who've been getting by there for 20. Matter of fact, one girl just got fired. She got a raise. She's been there for like 9 years. She got the higher raise than I got this year, but she's a piece of shit, and they just fired her. So stuff like that. There's people, they've been there for 9, 10, 12, 20 years, but they're getting by for 20 years. Just getting by.
Yeah.
But they get a bigger raise than me, and here I am busting my ass. You know what? Why would I bust my ass?
That's because you're stupid.
I know.
It's because you should actually turn around and say, you know what? I need to slow it down.
That's what I've been doing lately, and even when can you do this? And it's going to put me in overtime. Like,
Oh, sure. I can try that.
I slow it down right there. I'm like, well, I'm going to be here after my amount of time, so I might as well slow it down, get those extra few minutes, you know.
Oh, sure. Every time they say something to you about, can you do? Oh, yeah, sure. As soon as I get done with this, I'll go right over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing.
And then it takes you 3 hours to get done with this. And
Yeah, I'm going to start going slow, so I get like 9 hours a day, get that extra hour.
yeah, because the more you do, the more they want you to do. Instead of realizing the more you do, I should actually pay
That's
respect to the person because, hey,
That's-
you're doing all this. I
that's a
should give
shame.
you a break.
Huh? Every job I've had has been almost a communist job. Like, you don't get a raise based on your...
The merit.
Well, yeah, everybody gets the same raise usually. You know,
Yeah.
Either you go, okay, you got 10 years or 2 years, but you've been busting your ass for 3 years compared to somebody that has been hardly working for 3 years. You get the same raise. I mean, yeah, I've been in those shitty jobs all my life. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you got to say
fine.
about that?
I'm gonna find a good lawyer and get some money back from Florida. I don't know what this is. I've been trying to tell you. Don't hit your microphone. Yeah, Freaky Freaks channel.
I want to break free.
Freaky Freaks. I got 26. I'm 26. I got an economy degree, but I always wanted to work into steel factories because I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
I just want to learn how to make beer cans. Yeah, I probably should have got something like that too. You know, aluminum, welding, something, some type of trade actually.
Well, the great thing about Freaky Freaks is that he's only 26.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
That right there gives you the time to be able to do a lot of different things. 26, if you don't get sucked in by a friend to go drinking and everything like that, then you got plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, because we were 28, I think, when we started hanging out with each other, right? Maybe we were 20. I don't know. 98.
I was
October
a late
98.
bloomer.
October 98. Yeah. So. 27, I think we were about 27, 28, somewhere around there.
And as long as you don't go chasing after girls and get one pregnant and have to marry or support.
Or
you know.
go out with your friends drinking every day, spending money.
Yeah.
You should be good to go.
Yeah. You got plenty of opportunity.
They say you should be putting 15% of your pay towards investments and 10% towards savings, right? Is that what they say? I think so.
Something like that.
It's hard to do, though, depending on how much you make and how much your bills are. It's hard to do, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the fact is you're never going to be happy doing stuff for other people. You got to follow something that you want to do.
Yeah. I would recommend, just enjoy your life, but try to save and invest. You're young still. You get to our point, you should be comfortable in your mid-50s at least. Time to retire it. Where here I am still struggling. I can't retire now.
Well, with him, I would definitely say stop making other people money and start trying to make yourself money.
Right,
start trying to follow your dreams. Start trying to do things that you want to do, that you're interested in. Yes, life hurts because it's going to cause pain and it's going to cause you to have to suffer. But you know what? In the long run, if you go do it, at least you know that you've done it and you don't have to rely upon this person or that or beg for this time off or that. It's terrible.
Wow, 1,200. Well, that's probably less than what America is.
I almost risked that route a couple of years. Now I'm back on my trail, but I want to go to another country because here we can't even pay rent. Yeah.
It's the same here, but I don't know what the difference is in monetary value in America. Because average rent here in America is about the same, right?
Oh, and depending on where you're at, rent is pretty steep.
Here where I am in South Carolina, you might be lucky if you can find something $900 a month, right? But I don't know what the American compared to the euro or Italian or whatever.
I know here in Florida, it would be.
You're lucky if you get $1,200. Yeah.
You'd have a rough time. Your rent would probably be $1,500. You know,
unless you want to get a mobile home, single wide or something.
And depending on where you're living, but then that also causes you to have limitation in your job.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, you could live and probably only have to pay $700-800 in rent, but then you'd have to travel an hour or an hour and a half away from work. You know, and then on top of that, you probably wouldn't make that much money, and
And I would admit, truthfully, I love Florida, but I don't know if I could go back to Florida. Those summers are just brutal.
Well, it's not even just the summers, but it's just the fact that you have to deal with the hurricanes. You have to deal with the fact that you got crazy stuff going on when it comes to.
We get hit by hurricanes up here. I mean, Helene there's still shit fuck up around here from Helene. I'm way up in North.
I know there's particular places in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, even out west. There's places that you could probably get a decent
West Virginia
job and a decent wage, and
Mississippi is one of the poorest
and not
states.
have to pay that much rent and everything like that. Not to down on the dream of what you were saying about possibly coming to America and everything.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but
I
you're young.
I think that you definitely want to do your research wherever you go.
God, if you did a good YouTube channel, hey, I'm a young Italian, I'm moving to America, you could make a good YouTube channel too and make a couple, maybe lucky 1,000, 2,000.
Even if you're making only a couple $100 a month, I mean, let's face it. Even if you're making that kind of money, it's something that would help.
Yeah, anything extra would help. Yeah, YouTube or any type of gig work or whatever.
Yeah, doing voiceover work, doing translation. Really, right now, I'm sure you know Italian and you know English well enough to write it and everything like that. So guess what? Teaching people Italian, teaching people English, back and forth, boom, boom, boom. You could probably make some money just doing that, and you probably do well at that kind of thing.
If you're Italian and you're single, you could probably be a good suave pimp.
A gigolo. Just a gigolo.
Maybe a gigolo.
Okay, that's the same thing. I thought that was new.
Yeah, you could like pimp your way around. Women love Italian, man. You can just probably use women all you want.
Let me tell you, the women that come from Italy. Oh my God, Sophia Loren. And,
if you're 26 and you're okay with a 45 or 50-year-old woman, like use them to hell. Use everything you can get from them. Put the smooth Italian moves on them. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going to start acting Italian. I got to get with 70 or 80-year-olds though, but okay.
You just got to make sure they're rich.
Yeah. Or something, at least, yeah. Not be super rich, but yeah.
Well off.
Well off or to do. To do.
Well to do. Okay.
Well to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is well off below well to do?
I think well to do is less than well off. Well off might be more, actually.
Okay. That's funny.
Jammer ruined my plans this week. I was going to do like 2 or 3 beer reviews. I was only going to go live on one and record 2. But, Jammer, as soon as I get ready about to start setting up or whatever, Jammer comes on. Hey, you doing beer reviews? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna.
Well, I think this is going to be my last.
Yeah, there you go.
So you are free to do what you will.
That might be my last 2. I don't know if I want to do one more.
No.
That might be my last.
You're just reading that. Oh my God! It took you forever to read that. What the hell?
Yeah,
you talk about me and how long it took me to read things, but
I
look
like
at
to get a
you.
MILF too, but make sure you're not. You got total control over that MILF. Or a KILF.
The great thing about it is if he's Italian, and he comes to America and he picks up a MILF, they're going to be so self-absorbed with the fact that they have this Italian guy, this beautiful Italian guy. Yeah, they're going to be so blinded by that they won't recognize the fact that that he's there for the money. Right?
It's true. Yeah, this one girl I used to work at when I worked at the long distance company. She dated a guy from Italy. I don't know if they're still together, but she was with him for a while. Yeah. And she was a little bit older. I was like 27, 28 when I worked at that place, and she was probably about 35, 40. And she was dating a younger Italian guy, 25, 26.
Mm-hmm.
She probably took care of him in more ways than one.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't care. If it was me, I'd be taking advantage of the fact that anything I had, if I was what is that? What exotic as they put it, exotic because I'm American.
I've been with some women that well to do somewhat, But sometimes the personalities or the different lifestyles just, okay, I can't do it, and what I'm saying, Jammer.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that German girl I got with. Of course, she had an ex-boyfriend showing up at the house doing her dishes and laundry and shit. That didn't help. So I was like, I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
She wasn't telling him to stop. So I was like, I'm not gonna be dating your ex-boyfriend's coming in the house and doing laundry and dishes. That's kind of weird. And he was asking her to pay him for his trips and stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck? And she was doing stuff for the neighbors. I was like, that's just too much. I'm done. That lasted about 3 weeks. And then I had the farm girl, the farm lady, sweet as a bell, very sweet person, but she was a what do you call that? Woman gets divorced and alimony. Alimony deal was she couldn't have no man live in the house.
Yeah.
Or anything. So I was like, what's the sense of dating? You get a house that your husband's basically paying, ex-husband's paying for, but you can't have no man live here.
I don't understand how you could dictate that, though.
I know. Well, I guess if you're paying alimony, you want to dictate something too, right? If I'm going to be paying you money, bitch, you're going to be going my...
Yeah, don't you think the guys think that the women here are like in their 60s? They only want money. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I met some girls that are frugal and, but they're crazy. They're crazy.
Yeah, well, that's a typical thing. If they're still single after all these years, they're crazy.
Yeah, there's something wrong with it. I mean,
Yeah,
like the one
they're
girl I met,
broken.
she was very extreme right on fucking conspiracy stuff. Like every minute out of her mouth was conspiracy stuff. I was like, yeah.
And then you had the complete opposite, where they hated conservative people and conservative you call it. If you voted for Trump, don't bother talking to me.
Yeah.
And you dated her.
Yeah, it's like, it's too much.
See, if it was me and I was single and some girl was saying, "Oh, don't talk to me if you voted for so and so," okay, that's fine. I'm going to talk to you and act like I never voted for the person.
That's what
and then I'm going to tag that ass. And then I'm going to turn around and say, hey, guess what? I voted for Trump.
Right. I started doing that. I was like, I took my political affiliation off my profile. I was like, I don't give a shit. I'll just tell them I'm non-political, or whatever. Oh yeah, I hate that guy. I did, and I told that one girl. I was like, oh yeah, as soon as she started chatting with me, she started talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, that guy. I can't believe they voted for him again. Yeah.
And what gets me about that whole situation is, you're so obsessed with that's affecting your love life, that's affecting your personal life. Besides that, you're limiting. There's a lot of good people out there, a lot of good people on both sides of the coin, and male, female, a lot of good good people out there. And all because they have a political view of this or a political view of that, you're limiting yourself because you are so obsessed with them not being this. Or you're like, I don't want to be involved with anybody who has a political... Well, that's like saying, I don't want to be involved with somebody who likes the color blue.
Right.
If you like blue, don't talk to me.
Yeah, it's weird. You never seen that before.
Yeah, you could be the greatest guy in the world, the most kind, most
loving,
considerate, most caring, most loving individual, but you like the color blue.
Right.
They don't want to be with you. That's fucking nuts to begin with.
Politics should not be in relationships.
Besides that, even if you say it's not politics and it's something else, it's still the same idea that, I don't date somebody who's not at least 6 foot. Well, you've just eliminated how many people?
Right.
Now, I don't have to worry because I'm 6'1", but you might have to worry.
I'm trying to think of actual legitimate reasons, Legitimate reasons. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're so crazed they don't even realize that they're espousing something that's been bombarded on them, constantly by the news programs.
Yeah.
Or should I say the so-called news programs, because none of them are news programs anymore. They're news entertainment, and it's not so much news as they are entertainment.
Yeah, before 2016, I never met a girl where I knew what their political affiliation was.
Yeah. I never knew what they politically thought before
And most
2016.
girls, if I did know their political stuff, I know they switched back and forth.
And I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care. What the hell? Why would you care so much about that? You're going to vote for whoever you feel like. But I will say this much. I do look for, when I was single, I do look for somebody who is more conservative, more family oriented, more concerned with keeping the country, a certain protecting the country, doing stuff that is for Americans so much more than for everybody else. First and foremost, you got to take care of your own home before you can take care of others. So you got to take care of your own family, your own home, your own city, your own county, your own state, your own whatever you want to call it, village or whatever. You got to take care of everybody before you can venture out any further than that.
Yeah, I agree, Jammer.
Because what do they always tell you on the plane? They tell you right off the bat, if so happens there's an emergency, the air mask will drop down, the oxygen mask will drop down. First, secure your own mask before helping your other people secure their, your family member, your whatever. So, why? Because if you don't have your mask on, you cannot help somebody else.
Right.
Same thing with helping other countries and everything. You got to take care of your own before you can take care of others. And being that we have so many homeless and so many people living on the streets and so many people starving to death and everything in our own country, that's pretty sad. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. There's been more over these past 5 years. Even though the market, like I said, went up 25%, especially over the previous year, 2024. Homelessness and poverty has probably gone up just almost as the same.
Well, look at out of California. How many people are sitting there on the streets homeless?
Skid Row, yeah.
There's extreme wealth and there's extreme poverty, and there's no in between.
Look at the town I lived in. I mean, there's been some homeless there occasionally, but I mean, I heard it's outrageous now compared to what it was.
Oh yes, it's completely outrageous now, and in fact, it's so outrageous it's gotten closer to my where my mom lives.
Yeah, my brother always said there's always homeless there where he works, at the restaurant he works at, ask for food and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. But it's worse now.
Yeah,
it's bad.
That's crazy. A lot of people don't. I mean, a lot of those homeless people. I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them are druggies and don't want to work and that type of stuff. But
yeah, it is freaky freaks. It tells you how weak-minded they are. That's what it really tells you. It tells you how weak-minded they are.
That's true.
To just blindly follow what the propaganda is being spewed to them. Because there's people who will not. I myself, I look at all news sources and then I formulate my own opinion about it. I'll listen to Sky News. I'll listen to CBS, NBC, ABC, all these different these organizations that supply news. I get Australian news and Canadian news and everything and European news, and I listen to it all and I hear the views of what they say about America and I hear the opposing views all around this, and then I formulate my own opinion. These people, they're clued in on one channel, CNN.
Or CNBC.
Yeah, and they're listening to that 24/7, and they're believing every word they say. Because why? They wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. But
It's like all these
there was a law that
protesters.
was here that was passed years ago that came up for renewal that never got renewed back in the late 80s, early 90s, and that was opposing views having equal time and equal thing, and also that when you reported the news, it had to be true. It had to be truthful up and basically to the best of your knowledge, which was it had to be pretty darn true, you know.
Yeah, there was that one law you were talking about, Jim.
Yeah.
Late 80s, where the news channels had to have opposing view, and they got rid of that in 85, 87, whatever year it was. So now a news channel could be, I mean, at least
And that
some
was the
channels-
rise of CNN because CNN became a news entertainment.
Right. I mean, at least
Yeah, social media did play a big role.
Fox does have some opposing views on there sometimes, but some of them are really. There's only a couple of them that are worth listening to. Most of them are like so far left, and just talking garbage out their mouth every time you open your mouth. But some of them are pretty good, and they're not like they're actually speaking intelligently.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Well,
Well, Jammer, I guess it's time for you to go.
yeah, it's I should have been already gone, but
Yeah, I'll probably sign off too. It's almost 2:00.
Freaky Freaks, thanks for joining us this morning and this afternoon for here. I don't know what time it is there. I'm assuming
probably
what is
about
it,
10
4
o'clock
hours?
at night. 9 o'clock. I don't
At
know.
least what is it? 4 or 5 hours ahead?
So it'd be about 7 if it's 5.
Here it's almost 2 p.m.
Almost.
Freaky Freaks. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. there. My God, yeah.
Twilight in Italy,
Yeah. Milan, actually.
where all the girls shine.
That's such a wonderful name for a town, though, Milan, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you should be out there picking up Italian girls, like I was.
Freaky Freaks is there.
Shit, I'd probably be sitting home too, drinking beer.
What you do is you turn around and you say, "Hey, Freaky Freaks, hey, I'm gonna head Milan. I'm gonna be at this hotel. Hook me up with some beautiful Italian girl."
Yeah.
Oh boy. I will say this much. I think in a lot of ways, honestly, Shagdog, I think in a lot of ways, Italian women are much more beautiful than Hispanic women.
Yeah, well, Hispanic women are widespread, Central, South America. Can you consider Spanish women as Hispanic or just the American Hispanic?
I would say just in general Hispanic. I mean, I would think, unless I'm wrong, and forgive me if I am, wouldn't that include Spanish?
I'm sure the Spanish would include themselves as they're just Spanish. They ain't that low class Hispanic bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
But I mean, there's different, because I liked a lot of Central American women. South
Well, yeah,
American-
of course. There's
More
a
than
lot of
Mexican.
beautiful women down there. But you look at the beautiful Italian women that's come out and became models or movie stars and everything. It's
Sophia Loren.
God, there's several of them that I can't remember their
She plays
names.
Hispanic parts a lot, but what's her name? Jennifer. Italian actresses. Googleize it. Monica Bellucci. I don't know who she is. Sophia Loren. Isabella Rossellini.
Oh yes, Isabella. Yeah.
Gina Lo something.
Lola Brigida. Yeah.
She
Ooh.
don't show her name. Claudia Cardinali.
Oh, Claudia. Oh man, God.
Anna Maggiani. Claudia Gerini. See how I'm putting the emphasis on the Asia Argento.
Listen, see what Freaky Freak says.
What is that? Oh yeah, they break my heart every day just looking at them because I know that Penelope Cruz is Italian, right?
Oh yeah, Penelope Cruz. Yeah.
I always, when I first saw her, I was like, Cruz. I'm thinking Hispanic, but she's Italian.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, overall, beautiful women of all kinds. I mean, let's face it, women in general, it doesn't matter what they are, they're gorgeous. I mean, beautiful women. I mean, I look at all these different women, Norwegian women. Oh my God, you know.
A lot of women are beautiful, but they're all evil.
But all of them are a little bit freaking nuts.
They gave Adam the apple, and they continue to try to give us a little bit and try to get more from us. It causes us problems.
They got the rib and everything, and they've lost their minds most of the time.
Yeah, and then as soon as they find somebody else that makes more than you, or more prestigious or whatever than you, bye.
Well, in general, I would say they're just women.
Evil.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying, but they're all a little bit crazy to begin with. Let's face it.
But like somebody said, they said once you're with a woman and she ends up somebody that she's attracted to who makes more money than you, all those things, say goodbye to that woman, because there's no loyalty in a woman once it comes to this.
I would say that more today than it would have been 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I will say that much. 20, 30 years ago, it probably wouldn't have happened. Yeah. Well, that goes back to what I have always said there, Freaky Freaks, and that is women fall in love with the idea of love. They will fall completely 100% all the way in love.
With the idea of love.
With the idea of being in love with, say, Shagdog or whoever, Right. As far as men goes, men in general, they fall in love one time in their life, 100%, 110%, maybe 150%. They fall in love and they put their heart out there. And then when it gets stomped and it gets, basically stomped on and shredded and tossed in the blender and blended up and poured out onto the ground and then, pissed on and everything else, guess what? We don't give 150% anymore. We only give 80%. Or we give 70%. Yeah. Or we give 60%. We never fall that deep in love anymore.
Yeah, because she ripped it out of you.
And then after that, after it's all said and done, we get to the point where, you know what? I don't care. You want to leave? Then fucking leave. I don't fucking care anymore.
Right. Do you think there's a point maybe some girl could turn it all around and you do give that 150% love again? Like certain.
I think you would be completely blinded by their beauty or their personality only to be fooled.
Or would it take time? Like, wow, I've been with this girl
I
for 4
personally
years.
think that you would be blinded by their personality or their looks or the fact that they have so much money. Yeah, I can see that.
5 times already.
Huh?
I've died about 5 times already.
Yeah, well.
Which it brings me, I saw one of those short videos. The guy, his theory is you die multiple times during your life. Like some near-death experience you have, you almost drowned or this happened. You actually did die. But now you're in a parallel universe. You survived. You didn't die.
Well, he's talking about love there.
I know that, but I'm just breaching it on that, Some video I saw the other day. This guy says you die. When you think back, I almost drowned one time. Well, you did drown. Your alternate parallel life started. And then this other time you almost died. Yeah, guess what? You did die. Now this other parallel life started. He was going on some theory about that. Yeah,
But I do believe that in general, that men fall in love one time completely. After that, we reserve a little bit of our heart whether it be 90%, 99%, or only 50%.
Hey.
We preserve. We don't fully fall in love that deep ever again.
Is there a high school sweetheart you think about? Like, wow, I mean,
Oh yeah.
no, you're not close to now, but do you think, well, you know, if she gave it all, if she came to me now, say you're single, I might go back to her. The high school sweetheart.
There was a high school sweetheart of mine that I completely gave my heart to and everything like that, and it got rejected in a sense because of the fact that there was love with somebody else at the time. Yeah, I think of that sometimes. I mean, I think almost every man has that situation where they think of the woman before, you know, that they gave their heart to, and
I think about my high school girlfriend or whatever, and then a few years ago when I lived in Florida, she was talking about coming down and visiting me, blah, blah, but she never came down. And I didn't respond to her. I was like, well, I'm not going to bother her. She said she was going to come down and asked her a couple times, and I'm not going to keep harping on her.
yeah.
And let it go. And then I moved here, and then she's like, oh, I want to come down to visit you. I used to live down there, you know, when she lived down in this area. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, you didn't come down to Florida when you said you were going to come. Oh, well, you never responded to me. Okay. So this time I respond to her, hey, so and she wouldn't call me. Hey, you going to call me? You know, we can talk about this, coming down and visit. She wouldn't call her anything. Then she blocked me. I'm like, so I don't wonder if it was her or a boyfriend on her Facebook account, because she was writing me through her Facebook account. Who knows, yeah. But I'm like, at that point, even if it was her or her boyfriend, I'm like, this is like the third time's a charm in 50 some years of my life. I'm done with you forever.
Yeah.
She
Well, I think in
But
general,
if she writes me
whenever,
next week, I'll probably say, yeah, come on down.
well, of course you would. Yeah, I know that. I just let you live the illusion that you
I love
wouldn't.
crazy women.
Yeah, yeah, you do. Don't we all? Because they're all freaking crazy.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, Freaky Freak says right off the bat, you know, right there, you know, he gives a good point. Whenever you're outside of a relationship, you should be focused on yourself, improving yourself, doing things for yourself. The more you do that, the less likely you're going to, more you do stuff for yourself and improve yourself, the more likely you're going to end up with people being attracted to you, people wanting to be with you, because guess what? They notice that you got something going on because you're taking care of yourself.
But then again, when you think about it a different way, don't do that because you don't want no bitch taking advantage of you again.
Yeah. Exactly.
My money is my money.
But we digress, and I need to go.
All right, Jammer. Thanks for joining. You better get out of here. You should have been out of here 30 minutes ago.
I should have been out of here an hour and a half ago. What are you talking about?
You are your own poison, yes.
I am my own island in a sea of hostility, right?
You are
an island of tranquility in a sea of confusion.
Right. There you go.
What's this? Thank God the American. Oh, well, thank you there, Freaky Freaks. I don't. I hope. What can I say?
Welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
I'm just a normal person. Average. Below average.
You see what Bill Maher said when they were asking him questions about the politics and everything? Yeah, look, I failed. I went to summer school 3 years out of the 4 years of high school.
I saw it, yeah.
You shouldn't be asking me questions.
Right.
I had to crack up and laugh at that when he said that. You know, I'm like, oh, that's funny.
No, he's liberal, but he's like more of a moderate liberal, you know?
Yeah.
He's like a little bit more. I used to think he was an asshole, but lately, the last couple of years, he's been leaning a little bit more to the right. I think actually.
Yeah.
Because the left has just gone plumb crazy.
Plumb crazy.
Yeah.
Not just anything, but plumb crazy.
Plumb crazy, yeah. And they probably like that. Oh, I'm plumb crazy.
Where did that phrase come from? Googleize that.
don't know. I heard somebody say it before, but where did Plum Crazy come from? Yes. Likely stems from the word plumb, which means precisely measured, vertical, or completely, and a connection to a plumb bob, a lead weight used to check vertically, and the Latin word plumbum for lead. Okay.
So completely, right?
That's completely crazy.
Yeah, completely crazy.
I thought they had the shits or something. Okay.
So when you say completely plumb crazy, you're like
Saying
doubling.
completely crazy.
Completely crazy.
completely crazy.
All right. Well, I gotta go, guys. If you want to stick around and talk to Shagdog.
Yeah, I might start another video because that's how I do things around here.
Yeah.
And if Jammer's not gonna be on this one, might as well do one more, right?
Yeah. Good luck.
I got another beer review. I might review one more beer. What the hell? Get it over.
Go for it, my friend. Go for it.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. I'll be
All
talking
right.
about.
Thanks for
Jammer
watching.
during that
Comment,
beer
like, and subscribe. Freaky Freaks. Always a pleasure to see you on. Take care, everybody.
Kiss the ground for us.
Yeah. Good luck, and I wish you the best there, Freaky Freaks.
Hopefully it gets better all over the place.
Whatever you decide to do, whether you decide to try to come to America or what,
Jammer has a spare room. Yeah.
But seriously, whatever you decide to do, good luck, and I wish you the best. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you again. We'll chat later.
Take care.
All right, Jammer. Shagdog. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.